all you listeners out there, and welcome to the first episode of Top Shelf, where we review all your favorite games. I'm your host, CHAPA, and I have here with me my good friend Adrian RC13, and we are here today to give a review about the highly anticipated Assassin's Creed 3 of the ever-popular Assassin's Creed franchise. So, Adrian, you want to give a shout-out?
Nah, I'm done with my shoutouts for now. I do my shoutouts, my commentary.
Fine. Well, then we'll start off today by talking about what exactly we thought of how the game looked exactly to us. Adrian, did you experience any kind of technical issues when you started the game?
Not when I started, but at the ending I did.
Okay, well for me, the big no-no, honestly, for any game is having to download a patch for the game and it not work. I had so many problems at the beginning of the game. Like, in not the opening cutscene, but the second cutscene after that, there were parts where it wasn't running correctly, and I was like, it really took me out of the experience for it. So that didn't happen to you.
No, the patch worked for me, or I didn't even notice there was a patch for it already. I just played the game, everything was smoothly until the very end, where I got kind of mad.
Okay, well, we're not gonna go into too much detail because we don't want to spoil anything, but
We'll try not to spoil anything.
Yeah, we'll try our best here. But I think this was probably the best looking Assassin's Creed 3. Like, don't you think?
Best looking, yes. Best there is, maybe not. I mean, yes, it has its satisfying moments, and it has their whoa moments, as the Assassin's Creed franchise is known for, and then it's what the fuck moments also.
Yes, if you have ever played an Assassin's Creed, you're gonna know what moments we're talking about here. But let's try not to reveal too much here. But yes, the game does look stunning. I think it's probably the best looking one out of the franchise. I wouldn't say the best. Honestly, for me, the best game out of the Assassin's Creed franchise would probably be Brotherhood. What was yours?
For me, I think it was Revelations, then Brotherhood. Because in Revelations, you got to play as both Ezio and Altair.
Okay, well...
And Desmond, but you know.
Yeah. Man, honestly, for me, though, Brotherhood, where they introduced all those mechanics of having a Brotherhood where more assassins were able to help you out.
Yeah, that was amazing.
For me, that felt the most innovative. So that game to me is probably the best. With Revelations, they tried that tower defense mechanic, and I was just like, I tried it once because the game made me, and it didn't
but
really work out.
but for you, Brotherhood's the favorite for you is because you bought Assassin's Creed every year since it came out.
This is
like
true.
for me, I bought the first 3 games before Revelations came out.
Yeah, and just so all y'all know, I'm the guy that bought the collector's edition for Assassin's Creed 3, so I have my statue and my flag and all that shenanigans. But we're gonna base our review on like a $60 price line and go from there. We're going from how the game looks. You said you didn't have any problems with it, so
No.
Well, there were a lot of technical issues where there was glitches and there was voices that were like not moving with mouths. I don't know if like it was maybe just me, but it happened quite a lot in the game, and it kind of took me out of the experience.
Oh, one of the things that I didn't like about the game was not the dialogue, but the subtitles.
Oh, you played with subtitles?
No, like whenever you go to the native voice or the native language.
Oh, no. Okay. See, because what they first did when the first Assassin's Creed is you start to hear them in their native tongue, and then they turn it to English. So in this game, when they're talking in the native language of the Native Americans, they keep it like they're talking natively. And they have subtitles for it in English. So
yeah, no,
that kind of did bother me, but not too much to where like I would take too much points off.
No, it bothered me because I couldn't read most of it. Like, the font was so small, and it was white. And whenever you go to like the Animus white-looking background, I try to like get the words on my character so I can at least have some background color to read the white off of it.
Wow. Well, yeah, it didn't bother me too much, but like I did think a little poorly about that, so I might take 1 or 2 points off for that.
Just one or two.
Just 1 or 2. Going on from that, we're gonna go into the gameplay and just how did the game feel to you when you were playing it?
I felt like any Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
But really, what was fun for me was running through buildings, like through the houses, through
Yes.
all was fun. Like, and plus with the camera motion with it also was, it actually felt like it's kind of like I think not trouble getting like through the house, but that's sort of.
Well, for me, when that added camera, when you click on the left trigger, when you're running away, it zooms in on you. So it kind of adds that sort of tension, honestly, and especially when you're running.
Right.
Right, and then you go into the house, and the camera zoomed in on you, and you're running through it. I mean, honestly, it kind of got my adrenaline pumping. So, yeah, I think that added a little bit more to the gameplay, and I'll go out on a limb and say that this is probably the best gameplay of the franchise too, because the fighting in it, your health doesn't even regenerate during battle, which I particularly like, because in the other games when your health regenerated, I felt it made it too easy and you just massacred everybody. And don't get me wrong, if you're an experienced player, you can probably do it in this game without too much problem, but you'll die at least a couple of times in this game as opposed to the other one.
Yeah, I agree. I face so many Templars. I literally got like at least 15 down before I died,
Yeah.
and that's without like the chief commanders.
Yeah, and that's another thing. When the enemy level like started to increase as opposed to the infantry that they usually use, you had to use different techniques to kill them. And they did do that in the other Assassin's Creed games, but in this one it felt more like it was a lot harder. It was more of a challenge, and you had to use a little bit more strategy to do this.
For me, not really, because like for me, all I used was the disarming, and that basically helped me kill them.
Okay. Well, for me, I just use weapons, honestly, and oh man, the killing animations in this game, I love them, honestly. I don't know if I would go out to say that it's better than all of them, but it's pretty up there.
Maybe on your thing. Not on mine. I already have my scale of Assassin's Creed. It's top 3 though.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed is top 3.
Well, that's
3 for 3.
I'm saying that this is in the top 2, 3 of the game's killing animations here. And
oh, with killing animations?
Yes.
Oh, then yes, it's the first one.
Okay, all right. That's what I was talking about. That's what I meant. And especially I like where you make it to chain combos. You did this in the other games, but with this, like, you get to add more than one weapon when you're killing somebody, and I particularly like that. Because you have, in the game, you have this rope dart where you have basically a rope, and I think it's like a little knife at the end of it. And you, for me, when I was killing somebody with my sword, I get to throw it out and kill another guy, and honestly, he'd just fall over, and you just feel that sense of badassness. Did you feel that?
Oh yeah, always. Especially with the rope dart. I just say the rope dart was a good add-on to the game.
Yes.
I mean, like with especially when they're just walking by and you're on a little branch or little ledge 2x4, and then you hit them with the rope dart, and then you hang them.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was like an adrenaline kickstarter for you.
Also, the animations for reloading a gun was interesting. I didn't think they would make it so realistic to where, because in the old days when you reloaded like a flintlock gun or any gun that uses powder, it took a while.
Yeah, you put the black powder in first,
Right.
then the bullet.
Right.
And then you had to
Stuff it in there.
Yeah, you had to compact it before you fire it.
Yeah, and in the game they make you take a while to do this, and I didn't find anything wrong with it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. As opposed to having realistic authenticity to just being able to shoot a lot of people, I particularly choose the authenticity over that.
Well, I agree. But what I did with the guns was I'll pick up one of those bayonets. I use it. I use it as a blunt weapon, and then
Yeah.
just in case I fire it. After I use it, I want bottle reloading. I'll just pick up another one, and it's basically a rinse and repeat for me with that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. You were able to use the bayonet as a basically as a blunt weapon, and then use it as a firing arm. Another thing, what do you think about the climbing mechanics?
It did make it seem like in the other games that it was pretty easy to scale building, to hop
Right.
over things. On this game, it makes it seem a lot harder, like, and it kind of is really, because if you want to run through jump over a fence, you have to press A or
Right.
B at the same time while running.
Right. Yeah, I understand what you're saying because it doesn't do it on autopilot. You have to press buttons and do things to essentially climb. And while in the other ones, you just press up on the analog stick and it just did it for you. So yeah, I would say that it didn't take me out, and I don't think it would hurt gamers to make this a little harder because I think honestly that gamers want a little bit more of a challenge in these games as opposed to the easiness that it was in before.
Yeah. I think after a while, I think Revelation started to bore me with the being easy. 'Cause, basically, on the beginning, you already got the hidden blade with the gun, with the throwing knives. I think in the beginning, it almost had like every weapon there is. On this one, you basically don't start off with anything except for the tomahawk and.
Yeah, it kind of did that thing where they went back to what Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2 did, where they started off when they were young, and well, not in Assassin's Creed 1. He just got all his weapons taken away from him, and with each mission he got a new piece of his armor back and got new weapons and stuff.
Right. And I believe like in Assassin's Creed 1, when you first played the game, you didn't even know about all the weapons and how to use them. And then to find out all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, he just took them all away from me.
Yeah. It was kind of a dick move on that guy's part. Well, he was a Templar, so.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, this might be a minor detail to some gamers, but for me, I like the sound of games. Like, for instance, when Connor is in the wilderness, I like hearing the birds, the different wildlife, because there is a lot of wildlife in this game. Honestly, I would walk maybe 2 seconds without seeing a rabbit go by, or a squirrel, or a beaver. There's a lot of different wildlife.
I like that. I like that. That's a good addition. And plus, whenever you hear the hawks
Right.
screaming, I always think that there's more assassins, and I think they're trying to get me. So I kind of like freak out a little bit. I look
Yeah.
around like, wait, where they at? Oh wait, just a regular hawk, eagle, whatever.
Yeah, the hawk sound for everyone that's heard it before is back in this game, and yes, it is awesome still to hear. It's very iconic. But
Another plus for this game is the ship.
oh, the naval missions, yes. How can I forget something like that? That was my favorite part of the game. Honestly, if this game was just naval missions, it'd be a full price for me. Honestly, if it was just naval missions, it didn't have to have killing anybody. If I just played naval missions from start to finish, I would have been perfectly content with that. It was so much fun.
You know, I think if Ubisoft hear this, they might do it.
Maybe for Assassin's Creed 4, we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because this is set in the Revolutionary period, so who knows what happens afterwards? Maybe the what is it? The Gulf War. We're gonna do it on a bunch of ships.
World War. Oh no, wait. The World War, right?
We got World War One, World War Two, Vietnam War. I don't think they would do Vietnam because that would be too controversial. But I'll see what happens.
I think that would bring on a little bit of problems with
Yes.
with some veterans.
Yes. Just like with Call of Duty, they had problems. But getting back on topic
Oh,
here.
Call of Duty had a lot of problems.
Getting back on topic here. We're not gonna get into Call of Duty because we'll be here for another 20 minutes.
Maybe if I decide to play Black Ops 2, we'll do a little Call of Duty review. Maybe.
Well, anyway, back to the sound. The hustle and bustle of the cities and hearing people talk. I think they added a little bit more to it to add the more realism to it. What do you think on that?
Uh, I didn't even notice it. Well,
Really?
oh, like you mean the people in the city? Like when you're running through the city?
Yes, that's.
Oh yeah, I got annoyed by hearing the children's laughter.
Yes, it did seem kind of like happy-go-lucky until you kill somebody and everybody started running
It's
away
like,
from you.
I mean, it's not even supposed to be happy. It's supposed to be one of those not tragic moments, but like those
Yeah,
moments in history.
there was a lot of things going on in that time, especially if I remember correctly, the Great Fire. Was it in Boston or New York that happened? It was in one of those two major cities, and when you go into the city, back to the Assassin's Creed authenticity thing, they make parts of the city like burnt down, and people are dying from the different diseases and stuff and not having homes.
Right, I remember that part.
Contested kill.
And getting back to that, they never like really. People outside of that district, they were all happy and everything. They didn't really express any kind of like depression or anything. But maybe I'm being a little bit too nitpicky. But that's just me. We'll finish this off by going into the multiplayer.
Which we have been seeing since
Yeah,
the beginning of this game review.
Yes, I'll admit that I have little to like no experience with multiplayer because, well, I'll admit that Assassin's Creed did something very innovative with their multiplayer, and I did play this in Revelations, and I thought it was really fun. I hadn't got a chance to play it for Assassin's Creed 3, but I would like to think that they expanded on it and made it a little bit better. What do you think on that?
You see, I didn't even play the multiplayer for Assassin's Creed Revelations or Brotherhood. I think it was Brotherhood when they first brought the multiplayer in the game.
Right.
But it was my first time playing multiplayer in Assassin's Creed 3, and I found it like surprisingly fun.
Yeah. Honestly, like when you kill someone that has been trying to hide and get away from you, you just have that sense of like
Accomplishment.
You're right, and it's kind of like that cat and mouse sense of it, where you're chasing someone down and you finally get your target. It's got that good sense, and although when you get killed, that kind of it kind of kills it, but a little
No,
bit.
before you get killed is the suspense part. We hear all the whispers around you.
Yeah, that's true.
That builds up suspense, and you just like you'll see me just looking around. And you see my camera just moving side everywhere, looking back, looking sideways, looking up.
Right, and it goes back to that cat and mouse thing, because it switches from you being the cat to the mouse so often that like it increases tension in the game, and that's why I like the multiplayer so much. But I didn't get a chance to play because there was a lot of games coming out, and we're about to play Halo 4 in a minute, so yeah.
And a few minutes here.
So we're gonna give our ratings, and basically it's a 1 through 5 rating, but we got little names for each one. 1 being just the game is shit, basically. 2 being a rental where you would, well, they kind of did away with Blockbuster, but I know it's.
Or how about borrow, like borrow from a friend.
Well, that would basically just be like no money whatsoever, but and I really don't want the friend to have to borrow, get it, and then you borrow from them or something. Because I know there are other places you can rent it from. Just there's not really a Blockbuster.
There's GameFly.
Yeah, you got GameFly. You can do it from Redbox where you pay just $1. If I remember correctly, $1 per night. So 2 will be a rental. 3 will be a used game, where the price is a little bit lower, and 4 will be a full price. And 5, with the title of our show here, will be Top Shelf, where basically the game should have like a shrine to it, and that's because the game is so awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
well,
maybe we could start the show earlier. Then Skyrim would have been top shelf.
yeah, if we had done this, Skyrim would have been Top Shelf. Okay, for me, I told you before we started this that I was thinking to give this game a full price, but after talking to you a little bit, I think it should be probably a low full price, not a full-on full price, but if you can get it for maybe like $1 or $2 less, then that you'd be perfectly good with that. And the reason I think this is a low full price is because it was fun. The whole game, I had fun with it. I did have problems with it early on, and then honestly those problems didn't come back till the very end, but it was a very good game. I had fun with it. There's a lot to do in this game, a lot of side missions. I can't remember exactly what total amount of time with it was that I spent, but I think it was probably around like 40 hours. And when you can get a gamer to play for like 40 hours and still have them invested in, I think it's a full price game. So that's why, just because of the technical issues and a little bit of story elements that I didn't agree with, I'll give it a low full price.
Yeah, I also give it a low full price, mostly because of the mostly because of the subtitles that bothered me a lot.
That's a little nitpicky, but alright.
But yeah, there was a technical difficulties for me at the end of the game, and the game had its moments where it didn't hype me up as much as the other games.
Yeah, you said that before. Whereas Adrian here wanted more dramatic finishes to things. I like the subtle play of things, but we ultimately gave the same rating. This has been our review of Assassin's Creed 3. Tune in next time of our episode of Top Shelf.